faithful Niner Empire. What's good? What's good? What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Welcome back to the 49ers Cutback YouTube channel with a special show. What's good with yours truly, Jay in the Bay. We are back for, week 6? And gotta say, on the day that we're recording this show, gotta say huge happy birthday to the GOAT, to the one and only Jerry Rice, arguably the greatest football player to ever live, and arguably one of the greatest 49er legends to ever live as well. So huge shout out, kudos to Jerry Rice, the GOAT, turned 60 today. But the Niners head into Atlanta to take on them good old Atlanta Falcons. We know that the 49ers are staying on the East Coast for this 2-game road trip. And the Atlanta Falcons, they're an interesting team. They are 2-3, but if you look at all their games that they played the Saints, they played the Bucks, they played several other teams, the Seahawks, and all of their games have come down to basically one possession. Whether they won or lost, that score is usually between 3 and 6 points or even less. So the Falcons have been a competitive team. They're competing for Arthur Smith, and I think that shows. I don't think they're a great team, and I'll illustrate that as the video goes on. But I think they're definitely going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to play physical, especially in front of their home crowd in Atlanta in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. It's going to be a raucous crowd. But I think the Niner Empire, I think we're going to show out, and we're going to definitely travel well to that game. And hey, the 49ers were kind of limping into this game. We've got a plethora of injuries, especially on the defense. That's something else we'll get into as well. But let's get into Jay in the Bay's 5 big things.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5 big things.
All right. Number 1, what gives the 49ers run defense, which is the best run defense in the NFL? We give up an average of 71 yards per game and about under 3 yards per carry. Now, when you look at this Atlanta Falcons run game, they are without their best run carrier in Cordell Patterson. But, hey, they still average about the 3rd best run game in the NFL as far as rushing yards. I think it's like 146 rushing yards. They do have 2 other backs that have averaged about 4 yards per carry. And this is what the Atlanta Falcons want to do. Not only do they have the 2 running backs, they also have Marcus Mariota. He's not a good passer. He's only completing about 57% of his passes. He also is a turnover machine. 4 interceptions to go along with 4 touchdowns, but he also has 4 fumbles. So I think we can definitely get some turnovers on Marcus Mariota. But how will this 49ers run defense, which will most likely be without Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead? I don't think Nick Bosa should play. He hasn't practiced all week. So we'll be without 3 of our best defensive linemen. How are we going to be able to stop the Falcons running game? That's going to be a huge test. We've been able to do it so far. I think Givens, Ridgeway, Spence, they've done a great job in slowing down the run game. And of course, Huff and Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, they've all done a great job in fielding and tackling the running backs. But that's going to be one key issue in this game. Can the Falcons establish the running game versus this 49ers run defense? I don't think they will be able to. And I think this 49ers run defense continues to excel. Number 2. Next man up, I just mentioned it. This 49ers defense is hurting. Unfortunately, Emmanuel Mosley, he's out for the year with the torn ACL. Nick Bosa has a growing injury. He hasn't practiced all week. I don't think he should play. I think we should definitely sit him out. Hell, even Robbie Gould, he had the knee contusion. I believe he practiced today, though. So I would anticipate that he will play, and hopefully he doesn't have to make any tackles, because if our special team is doing what it's supposed to be doing, he doesn't have to make those tackles. But I think this will give opportunities to other guys to step up, especially along the defensive line. Maybe we'll see a little bit more Drake Jackson. We'll see continue to see Samson, Kerry Hyder, Charles Omenwehu. Maybe we'll even see a Kamiko Toure, maybe. But the next guys have to step up, and who's going to play that outside cornerback that Emmanuel Mosley played so well? I think he was playing at a Pro Bowl level. Who will it be? Will it be Demo Lenore? I know he played in the slot. Could they move him outside, but Samuel Womack at that nickel corner spot? So that's going to be a huge issue for this game. The 49ers reserves have to step up and make the most out of their opportunity. Number 3. No doubt, we have to force turnovers. I think this will be the win in Carolina. I think that was the second game in a row where we had an interception that was returned for a touchdown, I believe. And I think we can make it a third, or at least get a fumble, a forced fumble. Marcus Mariota, as I mentioned before, he is a turnover machine so far this season, with the 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, also 4 fumbles. So I think we can definitely get some turnovers on him. And he's only completing 57% of his passes. So he's definitely not a prolific passer. And I think this 49ers defense can step up. We still have Fred Warner, still have Dre Greenlaw. Huff is still back there. And I think we definitely can continue forcing turnovers. I think that's the major difference, this defense from this year to last year. We're able to force turnovers. We're able to put this offense in better position to score. So I think this needs to continue. Definitely have to continue forcing turnovers. Number 4. Definitely got to keep on running. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr., man. I've definitely been impressed with Jeff Wilson Jr. so far. I think he's filled in well for Elijah Mitchell. Also, we have a blast from the past in Tevin Coleman. I know it was only one game, but he provided a spark for this offense. And hey, he knows the system. He knows Shanahan well. And I think in order for this offense to continue to thrive, we're definitely going to have to continue running the ball. As I was looking up the Atlanta Falcons defense, there's definitely a few things they don't do well. They're about average in slowing down the run game. They're about middle of the pack, averaging about 114 yards on the ground. I think we can definitely get that and more. And they don't really get after the quarterback. They only have 8 sacks so far in the season. They're bottom of the league in hurries on the quarterback and pressures. So this could be a game where we can run the ball. And if not, hey, Jimmy should be able to have a pretty good game. He should be able to have time in the pocket to throw the ball. And I think the offense really shouldn't be a problem. I know it's going to be a loud crowd, but as long as we're running the ball, winning the time of possession, we'll be in good hands. Number 5. Not so special. Woof. That special teams performance last week was putrid. It was very difficult to watch. I want to say, have the 49ers allowed 2 blocked field goals so far this season? That's bad. Yeah. I mean, I know we've made investments with getting guys, Oren Burks, Odom, Ray McLeod. We also have a brand new special teams coordinator. So that's definitely got to get cleaned up. And I think this was the first game last week where I noticed that the kickoff coverage was bad. Like they were getting close to midfield on these kickoff returns. So the special teams is going to have to definitely improve. I think Mitch is doing pretty good. He's punting the ball in the opponent's 10-yard line. So it's making it very difficult for them. I should say making it more difficult for that offense to go down the field and score. But hopefully with the return of Robbie Gould, hey, I think obviously when healthy, he will be better than the backup we picked up this week. So, but yeah, special teams definitely have to clean it up. They have to do much better in kickoff coverage and, block somebody when we're attempting field goals, So those are Jay's 5 big things. Let's get into next.
Hey, Jay!
All right, so we got Hey Jay, where users submit questions to me, and I appreciate these questions. We have Shooter 49. What's good? How you doing today, Shooter? Shooter says, what's good, Jay? Do you think that Verrett needs to get some reps in this week's game to be ready for the KC game? I would say if Verrett was healthy, I would certainly welcome it, but it seems like he's still I think he's still getting into football shape. He's not exactly where he needs to be in order to, perform out there on the field. I don't think he's ready just yet. Definitely don't want to rush Verrett back into action. He is coming back from a torn ACL. I think he should be a long-term play for this season. And, Josh Norman is not walking through that door. Dre Kirkpatrick is not walking through that door. We have reinforcements. I'm excited to see the young guys, Ambry Thomas, Samuel Womack, Demo Lenore get out there. We might even see a Dante Johnson, return. But I know he's on the practice squad, but I won't be surprised if Shanahan leans on him as well. But whoever's in there definitely have to step up. But no, I think you wait for Verrett until he's 100% healthy or close to it. But appreciate the question though, Shooter. All right, we have Roy Farmer. What's good? Appreciate the question, Roy. Roy says, do you see a trade for a cornerback on the trade deadline? I don't see that. I think the 49ers are satisfied with the cornerbacks they've had. The young guys they've helped cultivate and help get better in every aspect of their craft. We have Jason Verrett, who should be coming back sooner than later. If you told me now that Verrett would come back week 10, he'd be 100% healthy, I would take that right now. There's no need to rush him back. And I think the pass rush helps a secondary. You're able to get after the quarterback and make him throw before he's ready. That'll help any cornerback. And I just don't see the 49ers making any trade unless there's another injury, which hopefully that's not going to happen. But no, I do not see the 49ers trading for a cornerback on the deadline. All right, we have Jess. What's good? Appreciate the question, Jess. Jess says, will the 49ers target Brandon Ayuk this week? Absolutely. I think he should be getting more targets. I think with Jimmy and Brandon, I think hopefully as the season progresses, they're able to get on the same page. They're able to build a rapport. I know Brandon had, he hasn't really been the biggest Jimmy G fan. Let's just say that. But, hey, this is who the quarterback is now for this year. And hopefully Brandon and Jimmy can get on the same page. And it's also for Shanahan to scheme up plays for Ayuk, maybe early in the game. We saw that last week with Kittle. Maybe we can do that this week with Ayuk. But yeah, I think Brandon Ayuk, I would say he should get at least 5 to 7 targets this week against the Atlanta Falcons.
Away, Jay.
All right. And now it's time for Fade Away Jay. And the 49ers, looking to extend their win streak versus the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a loud crowd in Atlanta. The Falcons, as I mentioned before, they haven't really been blown out in any game. They've been down a few touchdowns, but they've fought back. So this team believes their season is not over yet. They're only 2-3. And I think they're going to come to play. And the 49ers are going to have to beat the Falcons. The Falcons will not lay down. But I think the 49ers pass attack, I think it should do well this game. The Falcons have a real tough time in getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. They also have a tough time on getting off the field on third down. They're one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL. They're allowing 47% of third down conversions to opponents. Now, that percentage is much better at home. So it's an interesting stat. On the road, they're not so well. At home, they're much better. So what gives? We'll see what this 49ers offense has to offer versus that defense. The Falcons want to run the ball. That's for sure. Third in the league and 164 rushing yards per game. How will they be able to run the ball without their best running back in Cordarrelle Patterson? We know Mariota wants to run as well. He can extend plays with his legs. That's something else that the 49ers will need to game plan for. But knowing all that, and of course, we know that the 49ers are basically number one in a lot of the major defensive categories. I don't see how the Falcons would be able to run the ball. And I think if we slow down the run, make Marcus Mariota throw to beat us, I think that will put that's what we want to do. We don't want the Falcons to have a balanced offensive attack. We want them to just rely on the passing game. And that's not what the Falcons want to do. They're not very good at throwing the ball. And if the Niners do that, slow down this run game, get pressure on Mariota, I think the 49ers will do just fine. I think it will be a close game, though. But I'm taking the 49ers to win 23-17. And I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be an early start, too, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time start. So, hey, you wake up early Sunday morning and 49er football will be right there for you. But that's how I like it. But thanks again for watching another show with yours truly, Jay in the Bay. What's good? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.